You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Let's go, baby, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to The Sport Coma, your number one podcast on everything Saints and a lot more. And now, here's your host, Big Q and the guys.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk. From your favorite sports family. Podcast 397 is underway, man. And who else could we talk about in this podcast, man? Who else you want to know about? You know who we talking about in this podcast? Mike Thomas. Clearly one of the top receivers in the league. A lot of disrespect handed out by clowns around the league that call themselves analysts. Not going to mention any names, but you chumps know who you are. And particularly the number one chump, as it stands right here, works for ESPN and does boxing work for him and passes himself off as a sports person. Well, you know who I'm talking about. As considering him not elite, regardless if he's considered not elite or not, he is the number one top paid wide receiver in the game. Mike Thomas is who I'm talking about on today's podcast. Got a few other little news and notes I'm gonna throw at you, but this is Mike. This podcast dedicated for Mike Thomas family, no doubt about it, man. The guy bust his ass coming into the league for 3 years and just balled on all of these guys. Now I hear all the other guys won't throw Julio Jones in the mixture. They won't throw all these other dudes in there. But for the last 3 years, nobody in the NFL has caught more passes than Michael Thomas. I don't care who you want to throw up in there. You want to throw Brown, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, and all of the likes, which are great in their own right. But Mike Thomas has caught more passes than him. He hasn't missed any games. Most of those guys who I've just mentioned have missed games. Odell Beckham missed almost the entire damn season last year. But Mike Thomas is available, and for his hard work, first man in, last man out of the building mentality, he is the richest receiver in the NFL as it stands. And of course, you know other guys going to come and beat what he's done in terms of his money over time. That's just what kind of league this is. Well, anyway, let's get into the particulars of the deal, man. And before we get going, I'd like to give a big shout out to all the hoopdats out there in Sports Coma land. That's why I'm giving a big shout out to all our new and established listeners of the show. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button to help spread our content, and share the show. Feel free, you have our permission. Take the show link, share it on Saints forums all across the land. I don't care, wherever you go, bring the Sports Coma with your family. Now into this Mike Thomas situation, man, dealing with Mike stayed away from training camp, trying to get the deal done. Worked out well. He reached an agreement this morning on a 5-year deal worth up to $100 million that includes $61 million in guaranteed and makes him the NFL's highest paid wide receiver. Now, this was broken by ESPN earlier, and a lot of this information comes by way of ESPN, even though there are several sources that's hitting different, but it puts it right around the same. $100 million, $61 million guaranteed of the contract over 5 years. It basically makes Mike Thomas a $20 million man a year, but really the deal breaks down to about 19 and a quarter per year for a total of $96.25 million, and he will which need to reach elite performance escalators in the years of 2022 and 2023 to push the total value of the contract to $100 million. Now, he was set to make a measly 1.1, I said a measly, $1 million. When is $1 million? If I gave each one, if somebody came along and gave each one of us $1 million, I say a measly $1 million. This is measly to Mike Thomas because he's making 19 and a quarter a year. but he was just making just over $1 million in his what was going to be his final contract, the rookie year, which said, you know what, I'm not going to report to camp. So the teams did get things done. So he got it negotiated big time, big up to him, but a lot of other wide receivers are really looking good at him and saying, well, we got to do what Mike did. We got to do what Mike did. I see you, Sean, man. We talked about it. We said 5 years, $100 million. Go back, rewind the tape. We've been hitting on this, talking about this. And like I said, man, it's just sometimes, you know, you feel like when you're talking about the Saints, you got to understand the podcast going on 5 years old. We've been following the Saints for well over 30 years. And sometimes you know a team so well that you might just be right ahead of the curb on things. And that's where we sit at, right ahead of that goddamn curb. And we really kind of seeing how things working out. But if you run the tape on podcasts, at least several podcasts, we said it'll be $100 million deal worth about $20 million a year. And it's just off of that. Saints didn't give it up $20 million, but they gave him 19 and a quarter. And Mike said, you know what? That's close enough. I can earn that myself, baby, because my best ability is availability, baby. Big ups to Mike Thomas, man, Mr. Moneybags, a.k.a. Big Papa Moneybags is in the building, man. Cam Jordan gave him a shout out, too, on the Twitter. And LeBron James even chimed in, and if money being thrown around in incapacity, you know, LeBron opened his mouth, and he gave big shout out to Mike Thomas as well. Now, the deal gives Mike a 1,700% pay raise. Now, this is for the first team All-Pro who had 321 career catches, which is by far the most in NFL history by a player in his first 3 seasons. Now, he keeps getting compared to Odell Beckham, who signed with the Giants for about $18 million per year last year, then being traded to the Browns. He ranked second on that list, which is conflicting because I have a list that shows that Antonio Brown is the second during that span with 311. And DeAndre Hopkins is third with 289, and Odell Beckham is 288. They need to check their math on that. They got various reports that's out there that shows that Mike 321, Antonio Brown's 311, 289 for DeAndre Hopkins, and then it's Odell Beckham with 288. So check your math on that, players. But this is the thing here. Regardless or not, Mike Thomas is awesome. He's now one of the top. He is the top, and he broke all kind of records. The first almost 20. He's the first $20 million wide receiver in the history of the game. And the Saints, man, they've never paid more than $10 million a year for a skill position. Guess what? That changes. All that old crap go out the door. $10 million. They signed Jimmy Graham to a deal worth about $10 million in there. Then the next following year they traded him to Seattle. But you know what the problem with Jimmy Graham was? That he didn't have that Mike has? Availability, baby. And I'm going to keep telling you that over and over again. Availability is one of the best skills that you can have as an all-pro. You train hard. These guys train hard. And Mike Thomas is there. 321 catches in 3 years. The man only been in the damn league for 3 years. So we can't, judge him or make comparisons outside of that. Only thing you can judge him is based on what he has done. And what he has done within the time he's been in the league is 321 damn catches, which is tops in the league by 11 catches over Antonio Brown. So big ups to Mike Thomas. Hopefully they can start putting some respect on his name and stop all the shenanigans about, this is going to tear up the team and all this kind of foolishness. Because somebody remind some of these people that's a $1 billion operation and the cap rate rises up every year. Because somebody remind people that if we draft well and do what we do in the undrafted market, that we could still be competitive win. Because they remind other people that's running around here telling, with the sky is falling mentality, that the Saints can't compete because they got a receiver that's on their docket that makes $20 million a year. Because somebody run around and tell these people how rich this game is where it could pay its wide receivers $20 million a year. How much money are they? Open their damn books and see how much this game is making. Come on, man. Let's be realists here. We adults here. We ain't no children here sitting up here or with pacifiers in our mouth, man. We understand the business of football. We talk about sports, but we also talk about the business of sports as well, and the business of football. How can you not talk about the business of football when we talking about all these fantastical numbers, 20 million a year and the likes? Come on, y'all. Let's make sense of this. But anyway, the Saints paid $10 million for Jimmy Graham back in 2015 and traded his ass. But this man is pretty much, if you have to go off of percentages and you look at the wide receivers just from last year, he was by far, at least if you take Alvin Kamara out of the equation as just a running back, because he was the starting running back, him and Ingram, but Kamara was in the receiving room as, used as a wide receiver, but the wide receiver room exclusively to the position of wide receiver of the Saints, you got to say Mike Thomas operated with at least, he was 75% or better, 70 to 75% better of their offense when you look at it from a passing perspective. The closest man to him with his catch ratio was Alvin Kamara, who had about 80-something catches, and he missed a game. So this is definitely something I'm happy that the Saints pulled the trigger on. Now, he was drafted, and this is a second-round wide receiver. People forget we drafted this man in the second round out of Ohio State back in 2016. And ever since then, him and Drew Brees got together, they've been magical. Now, he set the franchise records last year with 125 catches for 1,405 yards while catching 9 touchdowns. His catch rate is 84.5%. That's in 2018 was the highest of any NFL receiver since at least 2001. Now, that's according to ESPN stats and information. No other receiver on the Saints had more than 28 catches, and they lack of reliable targets behind Thomas. The more reliable one was Alvin Kamara. I just mentioned that. But Jared Cook comes into the equation to kind of help that out. Now we talk about the Saints moving. They saying that the Saints had just about $12 million in cap space. Now that they bring Mike in there, remember it's not exactly 20, but it's 19 and a quarter. So the Saints will have to do something to get. And I'm not even worried about that aspect. That's when Mickey Mouse Loomis, the Saints general manager, gets busy, gets in there and make things happen. That's what he does. He breaks out the wine and he makes Mickey Mouse magic and makes numbers and contracts manipulate, disappear, and reappear into what he wants them. Phantom deals and contracts like he did my boy A.J. Klein. A deal of years that he's not going to play, but it's just a way of stretching out the money in the contracts. Some kind of way finagling money into dead money and then zombieizing it and bringing it back much later. I mean, this dude has been doing real fantastic bookkeeping for the Saints for some time. You got to give Mickey Mouse Loomis a lot of credit for that, man. You got to. Now, after he's broke the bank, he's saying he broke the bank. Trust me, he ain't break the bank, family. This man did not break the bank. He gets paid more than any other receiver. But trust me, Alvin Kamara is coming up. Marshawn Lattimore is coming up. Ryan Ramczyk is coming up. Demario Davis is coming up. You got a bunch of Larry Warford's coming up. Teron Armstead's eventually coming up. So the Saints have a lot to look at going forward. But as for now, they took care of Cam Jordan and Mike Thomas, two major pieces of this Super Bowl team. Come on, family. You got to give Mickey Mouse Loomis some credit, man, because he really making things happen in a truly magical way. Big ups to you, Mickey, and the Saints for finally getting this right. And I've been monitoring the waves to see what these other people are saying. Even Kyle Hurd said some pretty positive things. I've listened to everything he said, but the little bit I've seen, the stuff that I've listened to from the rest of the guys that have been on the board, the Parakeets, they all singing the same tune. Good. They understand how hard this brother put in work for his money. So the Sports Coma, Big Q and the guys and the entire Sports Coma Black and Gold family want to issue out a huge and big ups, big shout out to Money Mike Thomas for this brother was a second-round draft pick, family. Second-round draft pick. That means the entire first round of the year he was drafted went by and nobody even seen he was worth enough to say, I'm going to pull the trigger on this brother. He was picked up in the second round by New Orleans, and he just turns out to be, since the Saints have gotten him, he's caught more passes than any wide receiver in the league during that stand. Not only that, but period. There haven't been any wide receiver that's done what Mike Thomas has done. None of them. I don't care who you throw up there. Big ups to Mike Thomas. Now let's get a little bit more information, family, on some other news before we get out of here. I just wanted to kind of throw that at you. Big ups to the Sports Coma family for chiming in with the comments and commentary. I see you, baby. I'm replying fast as I can. But anyway, to throw a little stuff at you. We covered in the previous show about some of the picks, and the Saints were off today on this day as well. We thought we was going to be off this day, but of course you're never off during football season, family. You know how that go. But anyway, the Saints, we're talking about running backs now. You know, Theo Riddick was a guy that the Detroit Lions let go. We have a Theo Riddick watch right now because it's now breaking down, according to sources close to Theo Riddick, the running back who was released by Detroit, the little scat back, receiver back. Even though the Saints did pick up Rob Kelly, there is still interest in Theo Riddick, according to several reports indicating as thus. Now, Riddick after leaving the Saints, didn't get a contract from the Saints. He immediately flew up to Denver, trial for them, and according to people close around him, he said he is coming down to a decision between two teams, which are the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos. Now, what does that mean? You know, should we just keeping a little Theo Riddick watch here? As you know, Alfred Morris then eventually signed with the Cowboys. The Saints said, okay, forget you. We got Rob Kelly, who the Saints brought in. They brought in Rob Kelly before. I remember him coming in before, and I remember Sean Payton making an issue of the man's weight at the time. But this time around, he ain't got too much to say about him now. But the Saints did sign Patrick Omameh. I got that right. And then now the team signs Rob Kelly. Theo Riddick is still on the watch as well. So, man, you just got to love everything that's going on with your black and gold right now. They'll return to practice tomorrow, and they'll see about getting this stuff here crunked back up. So it's just terrific, man. Don't you just love the vibes going on in the Saints camp? First, Mickey Mouse Loomis turned on the money machine and paid Cameron Jordan. He got his deal. The solid piece of the Saints defense. Cameron Jordan locked up for 5 years. Mike Thomas now locked up for 5 years. 5 years. We got the man down here for 5 years, man. $100 million wide receiver. Cam Jordan on the defensive line. The Saints looking good. So like I said, family, we doing what we supposed to do, man, here in the Black and Gold Nation. And we doing what we supposed to do here at Sports Coma. We covering it, man. So thank y'all for joining us today on the show, Podcast 397. If you like the show, man, share the show. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the Sports Coma, baby, and catch our live show every Saturday at 12 o'clock noon on our YouTube channel. It's going down this weekend, baby. Trust and believe. But anyway, thank y'all for joining us. I'll holler at you later. See you Saturday. Peace.
If you haven't heard the Sports Coma, this is what you're missing. Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guys intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needed the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.